Hello, my name is Reagan SP. I recognize that in today's world, specific beauty standards and trends put a lot of people at odds with themselves. It is easy to look at other people and compare physical traits and characteristics, while forgetting that every single difference comes with its own advantages. Naturally, as people mature and grow into their bodies, not everyone will look the same. I'm sure at some point you've had to call on someone taller than you to get something from a high shelf. Or maybe you've called on someone smaller than you to get something from a tight spot. And we're probably all guilty of that. Regardless, each of these qualities or each of these people has specific characteristics that made them better suited for certain tasks, even if they don't necessarily like or appreciate them. I, for one, have been called upon by my mother countless of times to get the crock pot from the taller shelf in the kitchen. She knows that my height and long arms make it easier for me to reach without having to stand on a stool or a chair in the process. However, my height had become an insecurity of mine when I realized how much I stood out from other people around me. Even though we all have things we dislike about ourselves, we forget that what makes us stand out can also have its advantages. Instead of looking to change in order to fit in or become the standard, we can learn how to use these characteristics to be beneficial to us in new ways. I want to share two examples of how valuable traits are often underrated. After I share a story, After I will share a story from my own experience with a very similar ideas, but a less fatal ending than Aesop's story, the stag at the pool. You may not know Aesop's story, so let me give you a quick encapsulation to help familiarize it. Presented August 20th, 2018 by an online site called Aesop's Fable, Aesop describes a stag looking at its reflection and wishing for wider and more muscular legs. A lion then begins chasing him. The legs he hated so much help him run away, but his antlers that he coincidentally adored get stuck in a bush, disabling him to escape the predator. According to the League Against Cruel Sports website, retrieved September 24th, 2021, hunting a stag can take an average of 3 hours. This means stags heavily rely on its ability to run in order to escape hunters. But in the story, the stag dislikes his legs and instead spends time admiring his antlers. When a lion attacks and the stag begins running away, his thin legs make him agile and quick. However, his impressive-looking antlers get caught up in vegetation, and he becomes stuck, making it easier for the lion to catch him. In summary, the stag at the pool reminds us that we can't overlook qualities of ourselves because they could very well come in handy and even save our lives one day. To follow up, I want to share a similar story from my own life. I too had certain physical traits I didn't always appreciate or want. I was in second grade when I first realized I was taller than other kids my age. 8-year-old me stopped drinking milk because I thought it made me grow faster. And teenage me realized that guys didn't usually like girls who were taller than them. It didn't get to me much until I joined cross country in high school, and all of the girls were shorter and skinnier than me. I hated how much I stood out, especially in photos. Even though I knew I was just as good as the rest of them, I was overly aware that I looked much less graceful while running. In the fall of my freshman year, I joined the basketball team and realized the coaches there actually valued me more because of how tall I was. My height made it easier for me to block people, rebound, and shoot over other players. I realized I had spent so much time hating how tall I was and wishing I was shorter, only for it to prove useful on the basketball court. My height came with its own advantages that I overlooked for years because I spent so much time wanting to change how I looked and look like everyone else. You may be wondering, what exactly are you supposed to grasp or gain from this speech? In conclusion, there are things about ourselves that we so often either ignore or dislike that may end up proving to be useful and even life-saving in the case of the stag in Aesop's story. Everyone cannot all be built alike. It is our differences that help us thrive in contrasting environments. I implore you to find good even in the things you don't like, especially in yourself. Thank you for listening and considering my thoughts. Any questions?